Now, this week marks 1 year since we launched our Menopause Manifesto campaign. In that time, we've kept our promise to make real changes to the way the menopause is dealt with. Last year, HRT charges in England were scrapped and mandatory training is also being introduced for GPs. We've even been mentioned in Parliament. To mark the occasion, we have commissioned an exclusive Loose Women survey asking 2,500 of you about the effect that menopause has had on your relationships. And the results make for really interesting reading. 36% worried about their lack of libido and the potential of that ending their relationship. 1 in 4 were concerned that their partner would leave them. 1 in 10 believe their partner cheated on them. And interestingly, 9% said that they had cheated on their partner due to their symptoms. So quite striking stuff, Nadia, yeah?
It doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, the more and more I talk to women, and I get so many messages from women, I find, I mean, my menopause doctor myself said she all the time is having appointments with women who are leaving their husbands, actually, because they think the relationship is over. Because, listen, it's like any relationship. OK, so the menopause is a deficiency in 3 hormones, right? It's a medical condition. And it affects people in all kinds of different ways. OK, and for me, it sent me back crazy for a while. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I had, you know, all sorts of horrible physical symptoms and emotional symptoms. I had no idea what was going on, and I was a nightmare to live with. Now, there have been periods of time in my relationship with Mark where he's been a nightmare to live with because of his own things that have been going on, and his own medical stuff that have been going on. But for me, because I love him and because he loves me and all of that, we have managed to work through it. But I think if you're on a very shaky ground, I think when any challenges come up, it can really affect that. Now, you know, I'm really passionate about the fact that so many women still can't get testosterone. Testosterone was a game changer for me. It's not for everybody, it doesn't work for everybody. But my brain fog, my exhaustion, my lack of libido affected me as a woman. It changed who I was. I felt different. I didn't feel attractive, sexy, even to be bothered. I couldn't be bothered. You know, and Mark was great through it, but he wasn't nice for either of us. Yeah. So, of course, it did affect our relationship.
I mean, testosterone, is that available in the NHS? I don't know.
Well, it is, but not as readily as progesterone and estrogen. You can't just... And a lot of doctors won't give it. People say to me all the time they can't get it.
Yeah, but people think it's a male hormone, and I think a lot of women probably are quite wary of it because they think they're going to start, you know,
but women do
hair where they don't want it and things like that.
But, I mean, it's interesting that you call it a medical condition. Is it a medical condition or is it a natural biological process?
It is entirely natural, isn't it? It's what happens.
Yeah.
No, but it's a deficiency. Any menopause doctor will call it. You are deficient in hormones. Now, we were on the scrappy... Our bodies, we were supposed to die after we had had children, but because of the wonders of medical science, we can now live to 100. But our bodies still need those hormones.
Well,
and so...
May I make one point, because I hear everything you say. I don't think that men have had sufficient information over the years as to what the menopause is exactly and how it affects women.
I don't think women have had sufficient information.
That's true.
But, you know, when men find, I mean, as Nadia has very aptly described, when they find this woman has changed and she admits she changed, felt different herself, I just think that it's now that people are talking about it more openly. Men are beginning to understand exactly what happens and why their wives or partners actually change a bit.
Yeah, I think maybe couples are beginning to understand, you know, and are able to have a conversation with each other about what is going on. Because, I mean, there's a lot of women, and I would be one of them, who hadn't a clue what was going on. And I didn't have particularly extreme symptoms. I mean, nothing like...
You pretended you hadn't had it.
Well, you know, but some people have an easier time than others. And I had an easier time than you did, and I think you had a relatively easy time.
I had one hot flush ever, honestly, and I was just lucky. And I actually treated it all through homeopathic treatments at the time. So whether those did the trick or not, I don't know. Yeah. And I'm not recommending them particularly, but it helped me, and I just sailed through it.
I mean, so Carol, what's yours? You're unusually quiet sitting there.
It's not really my favourite subject.
That's fair enough.
I know it's a big thing on the show, but you know, I'm kind of, you know, a bit worn out by it. It was a long time ago when I went through it, I suppose. Mark would never have known. He would never have known. Nothing really changed. I might have felt like, you know, a bit
So you were never bad-tempered?
What's the difference? I'm moody all the time. I mean, no one would notice if I was going through it now, would they, really? I'm the same person. But no, it's true. I don't want to make light of it, because I know someone...
She suddenly looked at me and went, oh, hang on a minute.
Well, I know I'm already in trouble with her for going, oh, you keep talking about it, it's never going to go away,
But you know what, Carol? Like, you know what, Carol? If we just think back to what Kay read out there with the Menopause Manifesto, the fact that GPs now had to find out, the fact that it can be got on prescription, it is important that we have to keep talking about it. There'll be so many messages in today.
I know. I totally understand. I'm talking from a personal point of view. But the thing is, look, it is bad for someone, it's not bad, but you can get HRT. I'm on HRT, and I've never said that publicly, but I am, and I've been on it for years, and they keep trying to take me off it, and I'm like, no, it's not happening. I don't know. I don't even know if it would make any difference if I wasn't taking it. I don't know, but I'm not going to take that risk. I'm just going to carry on taking it. Well, exactly. So, you know, there are things to fix it now, but Kay's right. It is an entirely natural process. It just so happens that I think it's the cruelest thing that nature can do to women, because it's basically a drying out process, isn't it? It's horrible.
Don't talk about it.
But it is. It's like... It's like...
OK, did she say those words? Did she say those words? All right, coming up next. Not having that. I'm not having that.
It's not good.